Blencowe Resources is the natural resources company advancing the Orom-Cross graphite project in Uganda. It's released further assay results from its Stage 7 drilling programme, and to talk us through the findings, we're joined by Chief Executive Mike Ralston. So Mike, before we get into the minutiae of the results, how far have you, in a nutshell, how far have you got into the development curve of the Orom-Cross graphite project? What's the status of it?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I could go on for hours. At the end of the day, we are in the final stages of the DFS, the Definitive Feasibility Study. We're planning or targeting to get that completed by the end of November. And I'm hoping to, I am going to be at a conference in London, the Resourcing Tomorrow, in early December, and I want to have that obviously in my pocket when I'm there. So we're working hard to get it all completed in the next 40 odd days. And that involves a JORC resource upgrade, which obviously revolves or requires these drill results to be included as part of that. So yeah, there's a lot going on at the moment, that's for sure.
So you mentioned the JORC resource there. So 2 sets of assay results now out to market for the geotechnical holes and the Camp Lode infill. So what do these broadly tell us? And what is the significance in lieu of that proposed JORC resource upgrade?
Well, if you look at the announcement, you'll see that there's some incredibly long intersections of high-grade graphite, and they're coming from very near to surface. So I think in a nutshell, what you want is lots of it, very close to surface and high grade, and we've got all of the above. Camp Lode was always going to be our flagship in terms of the higher grade. Northern Syncline, which is the other deposit, is larger tons but slightly lower grade. But this is a fabulous deposit at the Camp Lode. It's continued to give us beyond our expectation in terms of what's there, and another set of just ridiculously good results going forward. So what does it mean for the DFS? Well, this is the graphite that we're going to be mining from the start. So it's our low-hanging fruit. It's going to be the higher grade that we go and pick to start. And yeah, the more we can have at these grades, the better. It's going to make a difference to the commercial result for sure.
So you mentioned good results there. So Blencowe announced some pretty good test results last week with one of your offtake partners, Apollo, that kind of reinforces the Orom-Cross position as a niche market entrant. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that? I say good results. I'm sure you're going to say excellent.
No, they were excellent results. Thank you for that. I think it's a little bit trickier with graphite than if we're selling gold or copper, because they're quite ubiquitous and they're quite similar from one project to the next. But with graphite, it's all different. The chemical characteristics are different from us to the next. So really the best way of defining how good your product is, how high that quality is, outside of just normal MET test results, is to go and find high value niche off-takers and be able to get offtake contracts with them. And Apollo is one of those. They're one of the technical experts in the US. They've got a lot of fantastic products. And in this particular case, they've been testing our graphite within their lead acid batteries. And, we've very focused on the EVs and the lithium-ion batteries, because that's what obviously the big point of call for graphite is going forward. But there's an enormous amount of graphite that's used in lead acid batteries, which is what our typical cars on the roads are using today. And it's a big market. And these results show that Apollo are getting much better results in these lead acid batteries using our graphite than the norm. So it's another big tick. It's underlining what we already knew, but it's great to be able to come out to the market and say, yet again, we're showcasing, what a fabulous project this is. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be the best looking girl at the dance and get everyone to want to take you home. And that's what we've got here. And, we're seeing it with the off-takers who are all lining up, wanting to take our product.
I like that analogy there. Now, right at the beginning, I asked you where Orom-Cross was in terms of status in the development curve. But Mike, the contractors need somewhere to live. I can see a line in the RNS about the development of a camp.
Yeah, we have put in the very first permanent structures there, which is a small, what we call exploration camp, but it's going to be used for um, people constructing the main facilities next year when we're working towards production. But you're right, it's a first tangible evidence of something that's happening out there rather than just drill rigs that come and go. And it's quite exciting. And I think everybody can see it's starting to become real. So yeah, it's a big step forward for us, and that's almost completed. I think they'll be completed certainly by the end of this week.
So you talk about steps forward. So finally, what should we expect in the near term as Blencowe moves closer towards that DFS completion and perhaps a big value inflection point?
Hopefully, we've got, I think, over 230 holes in this stage 7 drill program, and with what's come out, we've only just literally with the infill, it's a small portion of that. So we'll have more infill results for the Northern Syncline deposit, hopefully in the next week, and then we'll move to a JORC resource upgrade, which everybody's been waiting a long time for, and then beyond that, the bulk of the holes that we actually drilled in this program were exploration rather than infill. So the priority for us was getting the infill ones assayed first so that we could get into the JORC to get into the DFS. But there's a lot of holes at the Beehive deposit, at the Northern Syncline extension, and those will come through thereafter. Again, more and more news flow, more and more assay results, and ultimately we'll probably put out a big new exploration target and maybe even another JORC resource upgrade into the early new year. So there's plenty of drill results. Obviously, the DFS itself will happen quite soon. And then we move into the phase of financing. So there's going to be some of the stuff that we're doing in terms of phase 1 funding, hopefully coming into market quite soon as well. So, yeah, a very busy time to the end of the year. Lots going on.
So hopefully I'll be speaking to you again before the end of the calendar year, Mike. I look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Mike Ralston, Chief Executive. Mike, Chief Executive of Blencowe Resources, thank you very much indeed.